yeah, oh yeah, oh. Alright, enough of my shitty singing. We sound good. Hey people, what's up? It's the Koopa here. We've made it to another quest. We're guarding, we're protecting, we are doing some vocations. Solo as always. We got Lana here, along with a couple other VTubers, our JRPG characters. And for our quest today, we are righting some wrongs, setting some things straight, paying for our transgressions, and also learning about people, understanding people. You know, don't we always love that? Because the understanding gets rid of the fear, the confusion of the unknown. So, get down to brass tacks here. Story spoilers first for the Guardian quest. Setsu fucked up last time in a big way, because he was a dick, and he's, he thinks he's the best ever, which I understand. I understand that thought. Happens to me a lot, I get a lot of "we are so back" and a lot of "oh my god, it's so over." So I get that Setsu. But to repay our wonderful guardian captain of Dandito, we're gonna see what he likes, and then we're going to get him a little gift. So talk to all the people, grab the gift, and then come back to Setsu, and then we're gonna have a little cutscene. This is a fun quest. This is a very fun quest because this is what really teaches you a little bit of the origin of the Guardian, why he's not, just like the best person ever, why the Guardians need to exist. It's the natural hubris of being so fucking amazing, I know a lot of you may know that. I feel like my guys, my wonderful 44 crew, my wonderful fantastic 44, I feel like all of you people are content fiends, you feel like, yeah, I find all the rare pools, I know where all the cool shit is, I understand all the complex topics, I have all the nuanced opinions, right? But just like in the last part of this sort of mini series I have here, no one is good, no one really knows, and no one really has all the answers. You just kind of relish in, figuring out 1% more every day. And it's really 1% more every day, but in reality, you're like upgrading your capacity by like 2 to 3% every day as well. So there's just a lot of percentages going on, as the thing gets filled, the capacity increases, and you feel like you really don't got that much. But in the end, who really cares? Who really cares how much you have, how much I have? We are all humans, we are all people, and I really do think we need to bring it back to those principles of just really looking at the general reactions of people and the general values that they hold. But yeah, guys, I see some crazy shit. I have seen some crazy shit today. Already, it's not even 5 a.m. But yeah, I'd like to just chat a little bit about those principles and the fact that yeah, it's a very crazy world in our community. And yeah, so this morning I did come across some interesting information that I kind of want to clarity, give some clarity on, elaborate on a little bit to, my greatest ability. I don't know if this will make sense to everyone. But I'd like to talk about it. I'd like to give my little 2 cents because it's something in my experience, it's something in a couple people that's close to me experience, and I feel like I do have something to say on it. I feel like I could shed some light on the topic. So essentially, I've learned this morning something that I didn't really realize, but schizophrenia is way more commonly diagnosed in Black people, way more than whites or other races. It's just like the Black, African Americans is just always schizophrenic when it comes to mental health issues. And this kind of came across my feed. I watch a lot of YouTube, so as I was preparing the morning coffee, going through my morning routine, decided to fill my head with something that really ignites the anger in me. And I watched some coverage that is being suppressed, of course, it always is, of Black guy murdering, who was also schizophrenic. a refugee, and is pretty crazy because, good old September, close to that wonderful, wonderful holiday that we all love in America. Oftentimes things like this really, really are just suppressed in the media nowadays. And there's a couple statistics I'll throw out here, but essentially the first one I want to talk about is that the media bias really leans left, and left media, and I'm not saying media bias is in, that's the only thing people watch. I mean literally the only thing online or that is available is really left leaning when it comes to media. And you have to realize that, a lot of these platforms, I feel like, Twitter being bought out kind of, it's slightly changed things, but yeah, everything's pretty much just over to the Democrats as far as media goes. Republicans don't really care about that, They're not really ones to move the media on the surface level. I feel like they do. This is sort of my tinfoil hatness going on, but I feel like they do a little bit more behind the scenes work when it comes to media coverage. Maybe in my eyes, they're not going to actually be, because they don't want that recognition. That's what I've just seen from sort of the Republican values. They would rather do things and make shit happen. Like, what does media really do? Nothing. It just ignites people to do things. And so, as a person with Republican values, I can see why not a lot of people would want to go into a field like that. Would really care about, some bullshit platitudes that people want to say. I can kind of understand. But back on topic a little bit, I did see that, and yeah, he was schizophrenic, the murderer of the lady. Ukrainian refugee, who doesn't really matter. People really don't care about the colors, but anyone dying in cold blood for literally no reason is terrible. And one of these attacks, one of these senseless acts of violence, would be headliner news, but because of the nature of it, the nature of it, it's flipped on its head. It's not the right racist guy, so we can't throw it up there. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, with the schizophrenia. The statistic that I was hearing is that there are much higher rates in the Black community, and most of the people with this quote unquote disease, it's multiple factors, but most of the people with the quote unquote disease, whether they have it from doctor's diagnosis or it's truly there or whatever the fuck is happening, they often get released, put back into the streets, homeless, because people don't want to care about them, they just kind of want the problem to be solved somehow, inconspicuously. And truly, you have to think, like, why does this happen? Like, what is the cause of this? What's the true nature of this issue? And I think it's where we're being put. It's where we're being designated to stay. It's where people say we belong. And the only way I feel like as a Black person to truly, survive is to just say I don't belong. To say to strategically check out of the culture. You definitely don't want to be in Black culture. If you want to be successful, you don't want to be in Black culture. You don't want Black friends. You don't want probably a Black girlfriend. You got to separate yourself from all that, because we're all unsuccessful because of where we are put. Oftentimes, guys, we're just put in the position to fail, and on top of that, everyone expects us to and coddles us for maybe the most minuscule achievements, You could lift a finger and it's like, oh my god, you did it, you're amazing. Fantastic. When in reality, we all kind of fucking suck. White, Black, male, female, we're all pretty fucking terrible. And no one's really got that sauce like, the next guy or the next guy or the next guy or someone 2 days later. Who fucking cares? It ebbs and flows. But oftentimes, at least from my experience, I don't really know about the white experience, but from the black experience, I've noticed that oftentimes when we go outside, when we show our stuff, when we show authentic love, when we show that we are a part of, well-formed society, what we are met with is usually, and I'm not saying this all the time, I mean, there are people who see past their first impressions, but first impressions still do something to people. You understand that, right, guys? Like I can meet you, your first impression can be bad, but you can get over that, we can become friends. Yeah, fantastic. It still hurts me. It still hurts me that you see me immediately think something, whether it be good or bad. You know? I don't like that. I don't like that. I wish, in a world we didn't truly see color, but now people are all acting like this bullshit exists where, oh, yeah, there are people that don't see that at all. Black people are fantastic. We're all so safe, which is so untrue. We are not. We don't have the capacity for, horrible acts, horrible things, but, yeah, oftentimes when we go outside as black people, we're just met with fear, shame, and hurt. Off rip. Before we even get a chance to say anything, we just met with those three emotions. And then a lot of black guys just skip, feeling these emotions and go straight to anger. Straight to anger, do not pass go, do not collect $100. Just go directly to the anger. Fuck all these other, gay ass, unmasculine traits that I can't really show in life, We'll just go straight to anger. We'll just be angry. We'll just be angry motherfuckers and then, murder some people. Which, of course, they love in the black community. That's showing you're not a bitch, right? Right, Raja? You cannot survive as a noble holder of truth if you are anywhere in the democratic or black community. And that's because they have no principles. Zero. Zilch. They've gone far away from that. Now it's about telling you a story, a tale of woe, of anguish, and allowing everyone to just become reverse racism. And it's all just another story, a tale. And you want to know why they're doing this? It's because we work way better when we're divided. We work way better when, there's a controlled chaos around us and everyone is confused on who to fight. Who's the enemy? Who's the enemy? Well, guys, the enemy, it's much like Kingdom Hearts, except, the shadows don't really look like shadows. Xehanort, is not the only black guy. It's like Dragon Quest 2, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, there are true and real monsters in the world. The problem is, they don't all look like monsters. They act like monsters. They talk like retards. They don't have a bearing of their own values or their own principles. They kind of just do. They kind of just exist. And I wish I had way less of a brain. My brain was on that level. Because honestly, being at whatever the fuck level I want to call this is way less fun. I have to strategically dissect myself from friend groups because I don't just listen to people's problems. I am one of the retards that embodies people's problems. You get finished telling me about something that hurts you, whether it be your friend, your dog, your cat, your mom, your whatever the fuck. I don't just leave it there. I can't. That's impossible for me. Unless I, actively smoke my fucking brain out. But these memories, these neuroses that play over in my head, I realize it's not really a detriment, nor is it really my fault. I realize just black people don't feel like they belong in, where they're spawned, essentially. You step outside and everybody looks at you waiting for you to crash out. You step inside, your family looks at you waiting for you to crash in. Everyone expects something less or more. And man, a lot of people really do just skip that first emotion of anger. They go to the shame. There's a lot of shame with just having this color. A lot of people don't realize that, A lot of shame. Very, very small percentage of us in America. But let's get back to statistics a little bit. 46% is our murder rate. Black women have a higher murder rate than white men. About half, actually. And it's like, why? It's like we're not inherently made to be these crazy, crash out, expressive creatures. We are morphed into it by our own culture. By the stuff that I put up on this channel, the shorts and all this stuff, I combine it with Japanese culture, with video games, because that has structure to me. It has values that make sense to me. A lot of people just co-opt these so-called hip-hop and African American values in the music to actively give us messages that destroy us from the inside. Intentionally or unintentionally. It's just like this whole gender war thing, The reason why we're so fucked in the gender war is because people keep leaving emotional baggage all over the place. Their emotional baggage, they fuck someone over and they move on to the next person, they fuck that person over and they move on to the next person. I despise that. It's one of the reasons why I don't like doing the whole roster thing. He's like, that's why you suck at love so much, because you put all your stake into one person. How dare you? 2025, you gotta have 5 girls. Rotation. To me, that's just not the way my heart works, and if it's not the way your heart works, you don't have to adhere to any of this shit. I'm here to tell you, with this episode, you gotta protect your principles, and sometimes that means being alone. Sometimes that means procrastinating. Sometimes that means portraying something that's not really you for the sake of getting the fuck out of there. It's not weak to run away. It's not. It's not your job to change everyone. It shouldn't be. A lot of people in this video I was talking about earlier in this one were ragging on my guy. He's like, "Oh, why didn't any of the people on the train like help them or something?" And I hate people that are like that with bystanders in these crazy situations. Like, you would actually do something, you fucking pussy. It's not our job to not save the world, but it's not our job to correct someone else's demons. I feel like it's just not our job. I feel like we just abolish jobs in general. It's not my job to make these videos. It's not my job to wake up and spread a positive light to people. You do it because you want to. You do it because you feel like you have the ability. You do it because you feel like you can. And that's why I really, like I said this last time, guys, I don't want a job. I want money. I don't want a job. I want to work. I don't want a job. I want to be respected. And yeah, if I feel like if I was just treated with the same amount of respect as any general white person, I'd be fine. And that's why I haven't really crashed out. I think because I have. And it's because I give out respect. If you give the respect, people will give it to you. It's just people act like those first impressions don't do anything to you. They do. They do. If first impressions didn't do anything to me, I would feel so fine and so okay with all the times I've been not stopped, but just inspected. We'll say that. Inspected by police officers. Randomly. And crazily enough, it's happened quite often in the past couple of days. I like to often go out and just walk. I have a couple of hiking spots that I frequent. Free parking on the weekends on a couple of them and whatnot. So I have just a little regimen, if you will, of how much walking I need to do a day. So I get out, I walk, I have fun, I play some music, I dance around. And just the past couple of times, I've noticed, and I'm not gonna point fingers at anyone or get super belligerent or angry, because it's just not me. I'm just way too tired. I'm just done. I'm just finished. Anger is probably over for me. I've probably been angry the last time in my life. But yeah, the thing is, I feel like for the past maybe 2 or 3 walks, no, not the past 2 or 3 walks. It was literally yesterday actually. Yesterday was Sunday. No, it was Saturday. It was Saturday. Went out to one of my natural little parks there. I was playing music. I was chilling. I was watching some YouTube videos, whatever, and you know, randomly cops show up, and I'm like, well, it's time to go. And of course, they just have to ask questions. But you know, the thing is, if you just respect people in the same way they respect you, there's not gonna be a problem. Of course, it didn't crash out. Yeah, I feel like this is happening more and more often because I'm getting more and more bold with just the shit I want to do outside, and I'm not fitting into a script or a mold. You know, everywhere people are pretty boring, right? But when you move out of that mold, you separate yourself from the pack. It's gonna attract attention, and people don't understand things, and that's the general reason why people crash out on people, because they just don't get it. They just have no fucking idea what's going on, and so they just want to know. So yeah, of course the cops came. I just answered some questions, and I just said, I'm gone. I didn't even ask if I was free to go. I just literally walked away, you know? And that's the thing. If you respect them, they're gonna respect you, man. That's all it is. Oftentimes, man, if you're just someone who moves with a purpose, just do whatever. It's fine. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's funny. I feel like I've been Baker acted. I've been, you know, pulled over once or twice. But yeah, most of the time I'm met with an officer who actually wants to, like, I don't know, keep the world safe, crazy enough. And you gotta realize, no cop is just going to randomly pull you over. That's happened to me before too. A couple nights ago, like a week ago or so, I was walking super late at night. And you know, I'm walking over. It's a weird area where there's no real sidewalk or whatever, and there's this 3-4 police cars pull up, and I'm just looking behind me, and I just think the stankiest face, and I'm like, why are there 3 police cars pulling up behind me? And then they I guess they see my face because their lights are on, and then, you know, I turn forward and just keep walking. Pull up behind me, and then one guy turns, you know, around, and then, you know, stops right beside me. I just keep walking, and then the second car turns around and gets those lights on, you know what I'm saying, and then pulls up behind that guy, also beside me, and I literally just keep fucking walking. I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything, I'm not gonna crash out. Who knows if there was even a call on me at that point, and I really don't think there was, because I literally just kept walking. The third car pulls, like, in front of me. In front of my ass into the parking lot, and then I go, like, deeper into the parking lot, walk around the car, and literally just keep walking. I didn't run. I didn't, you know, scream or anything. I literally just kept walking at my own pace, which is just a little bit fast, but... And then they just left me alone. And that's it. You know, of course they have to figure out what's going on. I wasn't really on a street. I wasn't really on a sidewalk. You know, it was late as fuck at night. I think it was like 1 a.m. or something. Because I like to walk when there's nobody there. Of course, it's way less hot too. So won't have that problem in a little bit of a weeks though. Good thing. Just walk when there's light outside again. But yes, guys, you realize it's just the media that's giving us this. It's giving a violence of the black community. And they don't want to show us black on white. They want to show us white on black. To give us that reverse racism. To once again just confuse us. The rates are the same. The people are the same. Nothing has really changed. But they are trying to co-opt your opinion and sort of reverse racism it to get rid of it. You know, for the dumb seals who think that's gonna fucking work, sure. But for everybody who's like, I don't know. You're right, man. You're right. Be curious, be confused, because they should not be letting these motherfuckers out. Let's just be real. Some people need to be in jail. Some people need to be incarcerated. I'm a big fan of the death penalty, but that's just me. You know, I feel like you should have your own opinion about it. The only reason why I like the death penalty is because, like I've said before, I'm very much done. You know, I'm hoping if the death penalty exists, then, you know, eventually I could taste that sweet, sweet victory of being exonerated in an electric chair, you know? That's why I work out every day. I know it sounds a little bit morbid, but when you work out every day, you are killing yourself faster. You are. Here's what's happening. And on top of that, you're doing it for a holy righteous cause, to hit the peak, to hit greater strengths. You know, you're breaking all your muscles down, you're breaking all your bones down to reach greater heights. So essentially, this is just a giant knowledge conundrum, tower, cycle, whatever you want to call it. I am trying to expand my brain so large so it explodes over everyone and everything. You know, not really trying to hurt anyone, not really trying to cause a disruption. I just don't want to be here. And I know I have to. I have way too many people that love me and care about me and all that disgusting, corny, gay bullshit. And to respect them in the same way I want it, I have to give this body, this flesh, what it deserves. You know what I'm saying? I still got the soul in me. And the beautiful thing about life is that it'll probably never leave. You'll probably still have this soul, this embodiment that hears your thoughts and allows you to have free will and do what you need to do. Allows you the free will to watch this stupid YouTube video, all that stuff. You're still gonna have that. Hopefully. They don't really know about the afterlife, crazily enough, right? You'd think I'd have all the answers. This wise guy has no idea what happens when we die? What, you know? But the flesh will decay, the flesh will go away, so, you know, you gotta use it while you have it. Use it or lose it, all that bullshit. And, yeah, man, be honest about who we really are, who our true essence is, because no one, if there's one clear thing about, you know, what I've seen this morning, no one will tell the truth to you. Especially not in this online world. So we got to tell the truth to ourselves, you know? Whatever you believe about this crazy rhetoric going on, I'd say believe it with your full heart and get the facts, man. Get the facts. Don't just go to one place, because there's stories like this, like this horrible thing. I believe it happened in like Charlotte, in like Texas or something, Tennessee or something. Shit like this should not be covered or covered up in the way it is. You know, it's of course news, but personally, I don't think it's something that we really need to lie to people about. You know, you need to hear the truth of what's really going on, what's really happening under the surface. You know, that's what's really going to ignite people to make wise choices about what they want to do in their life, what direction they want to go. But when you lie to people about the information, that's when the true confusion happens, that's when the true fear happens, because people don't know what to believe. So remember, people, have some love in your hearts, in your souls, in your jubilant bodies. I love you, appreciate you, and stand on them principles, man. Protect them. Subscribe, and I will see you next time.